Welcome to Australia for round one of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship. Once again, we're in Melbourne, where the Australian Grand Prix has been staged since moving here from Adelaide in 1996. The season opener always provides the first real indication of each team's competitiveness after the lengthy pre-season testing period that this year took place in January and February. Reliability is always a worry for the teams in the initial rounds of the championship, as Formula One travels the globe for the first three races and development of the race cars is therefore relatively limited. Here we are in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia for round two of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship, the Malaysian Grand Prix. For the first time in this country's history, the local population will be able to cheer on one of their own behind the wheel of a Formula One car. European Minardi's Alex Young joined the sport towards the end of last year, and this is his first outing in front of his home crowd. A big occasion and no doubt one that he's been dreaming of for a long time. Let's see how he and the other top drivers get on.
The Malaysian Grand Prix is held at the Sepang circuit since its introduction to the championship in 1999, and at a minimum of 16 metres across is a very wide track by modern Grand Prix standards. The race covers 56 laps, and a single lap is 3.44 miles or 5.54 kilometres. The lap record is held by Mika Hakkinen. The very long straights mean that teams will have to find a medium downforce setup for their cars to get the right balance between grip and top speed.
We're here in Interlagos and you're joining us for the 2002 Brazilian Grand Prix on the outskirts of Sao Paulo. This Grand Prix is always a very colourful affair, and even though the facility itself is not on a par with the rest of the venues on the Grand Prix calendar, the track has produced some great races over the years. This season, next to the established Brazilian drivers Barrichello and Benoldi, we have Sauber's newcomer Felipe Massa joining for his first Brazilian Grand Prix. Everyone here wishes him the very best of luck. Welcome to San Marino for the San Marino Grand Prix. Together with the Italian Grand Prix held at Monza later in the year, this race attracts the largest number of tifosi due to the close proximity to Maranello, birthplace of the Ferrari legend. Apart from this being one of two of Ferrari's home Grand Prix, the grandstands are also full of supporters for Italian drivers Giancarlo Fisichella and Jarno Trulli, who swapped places for the 2002 season. Trulli has joined Renault from Jordan, and Fisichella left Renault to return to Jordan Honda, whom he raced with back in 1997. No doubt both will be keen to make an impression on their loyal fans.
The San Marino Grand Prix is the second race on the calendar that drivers navigate anti-clockwise. The race covers a total of 62 laps, with one of these laps covering 3.065 miles or 4.933 kilometres. Ralf Schumacher holds the track record. It's a medium to high downforce circuit. Braking, traction and the ability to ride the curbs are keys to success at this racetrack.
Round 5 of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship. Welcome to Spain and the Spanish Grand Prix. During the winter, the team spent a large amount of their time at this track to prepare and test for the season ahead, and as a result, all the drivers are extremely familiar with its layout. It's a very technical circuit, and there aren't many overtaking opportunities. For Jaguar's Pedro de la Rosa, this is his home Grand Prix, and no doubt there'll be a large contingent of fans cheering him and the team on.
The Barcelona racetrack is used extensively by all the teams for testing in the build-up to and during the season. One lap out of the 65-lap race covers 2.939 miles or 4.730 kilometres. Michael Schumacher holds the lap record. The circuit requires the teams to adopt mid-range settings with the wings set to medium downforce. Understeer is a recurring problem on this track, so everyone will be chasing that extra front-end grip. Tyre wear can be quite excessive during the race due to the long, high-speed corners.
Welcome to the A1 Ring and the Austrian Grand Prix, round 6 of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship. Even though there are no Austrian drivers on the grid this season, McLaren Mercedes third driver Alex Wurz is still a favourite with many fans. Of course, Jaguar's team principal Niki Lauda, as the country's most successful Grand Prix driver with 3 World Championships, is also held in high regard. We hope that both their teams will fare exceptionally well over the weekend. Welcome to the Principality and round 7 of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship, the Monaco Grand Prix here in Monte Carlo. Narrow roads, high walls and very few overtaking areas make this a difficult race for all the drivers, and a good start is crucial if you want to be the first driver into Saint-Devote corner. The Monaco Grand Prix is the race that every driver wants to win, and we can be sure that everyone will go out to secure the all-important pole position to improve their chances for the win.
The Monaco Grand Prix requires full concentration by the drivers over the entire 78 laps. One small mistake and the car will end up in the barriers, as runoff areas are virtually non-existent here. A single lap during the race itself covers 2.094 miles or 3.370 kilometres, and the lap record is held by David Coulthard. Because of the low average speed, maximum downforce and mechanical grip are paramount to achieve good results. Due to the undulating surface, cars also have a tendency to bottom out, so the ride height is usually adjusted higher to compensate for this.
This is the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve just outside Montreal, and welcome to the Canadian Grand Prix, round 8 of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship. This Grand Prix is always one of the highlights of the season, with its enthusiastic fans and fantastic atmosphere. The circuit is named after the legendary Ferrari driver Gilles Villeneuve, father of the '97 Formula One World Champion and current BAR Honda driver Jacques Villeneuve. As every year since his introduction to Formula One, I'm sure we can expect Jacques to get something extra racing in front of his home crowd. It's the European Grand Prix round 9 of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship here at the famous Nürburgring in Germany. This is the first of 2 Grand Prix held on German soil, and the grandstands are a sea of red, giving a good indication who the spectators are rooting for. Apart from Michael Schumacher, however, Ralf Schumacher always goes well at this venue, and no doubt the Williams BMW will prove very competitive. Nick Heidfeld will also aim for at least a points finish in his Sauber Patronus, and Heinz-Harald Frentzen will be keen to make his mark too. All in all, a great race weekend to look forward to.
The Nürburgring is probably most famous for the legendary Nordschleife, the old part of the track that Formula One cars raced on until 1976. Today's race covers 67 laps, a single lap being 2.831 miles or 4.556 kilometres. The lap record was set by Juan Pablo Montoya in his Williams BMW. Teams generally go for medium to high downforce settings, as the track contains many corners which tend to generate understeer. A soft front spring and more front wing are often required to find the best balance.
Welcome to the home of British motorsport, Silverstone, the home of the British Grand Prix in 2002 and for many years to come. After a tumultuous couple of years, the long-term future of the country's most important race venue has finally been secured, after commendable efforts by individuals like Sir Jackie Stewart and our very own Martin Brundle, as well as the British Racing Drivers Club and the promoter Octagon. We can now expect the British Grand Prix to remain on the calendar for many years to come. It's also a home Grand Prix for 7 of the participating teams, as well as Renault's Jenson Button, Jaguar's Eddie Irvine and McLaren Mercedes' David Coulthard. We wish them luck.
The British Grand Prix covers 60 laps, with one lap being 3.194 miles or 5.141 kilometres. Mika Häkkinen holds the lap record. Silverstone offers high levels of grip, which require medium downforce and a well-balanced car to put in a competitive showing. Bravery in the high-speed turns is very important.
And here we are, round 11 of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship, the French Grand Prix at Magny-Cours. The surface of the track is particularly smooth, and many teams use this venue for extensive tyre development sessions in between races. It's also a home Grand Prix for teams like Renault and drivers like BAR Honda's Olivier Panis. Sadly, this is the first French Grand Prix in 11 years without Jean Alesi on the grid, and I'm sure many fans will sorely miss his flamboyant style and gritty determination.
Monaco has hosted the French Grand Prix since 1991, and the extremely smooth track surface covers a great blend of high-speed sweeping corners and some slow sections that require high downforce settings. The lap record is held by McLaren Mercedes' David Coulthard.
We're at one of the real power circuits on the calendar, the Hockenheimring in Germany for the German Grand Prix, round 12 of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship. This is the second race of the season held in Germany, and once again the grandstands are dominated by the colour red. But this is not only an important race for German drivers, Mercedes and BMW will be keen to make their mark on this historic event.
The Hockenheim circuit is virtually all new for 2002, and the teams have no data for setup. The final stadium section will become dominant in your setup strategy.
Welcome to the tight and twisty Hungaroring, venue for round 13 of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship, the Hungarian Grand Prix. Everyone will remember that it was here last year that Michael Schumacher clinched his second successive and overall fourth Formula One World Championship, and Rubens Barrichello secured the Constructors' Trophy for Ferrari with a fine drive to second. This race doesn't always produce the most spectacular action, but the nature of the layout means that teams are chasing optimum downforce to enable their drivers to navigate the course as best as possible. It's the Belgian Grand Prix and round 14 of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship. This circuit is situated deep in the Ardennes forest and remains a firm favourite with virtually every driver on the grid. A true driver's circuit, the magnificent Eau Rouge corner is seen as the ultimate test of skill and determination, and every year drivers attempt to take this lightning-fast curve flat out. Because of its geographical location, the track is often subject to sudden rain showers that can have a massive impact on the race. In 1998, Damon Hill scored the Jordan team's historic first victory, with Ralf Schumacher completing a perfect weekend for the team, coming second and securing their first and so far only 1-2 finish. In 2000, we saw Mika Häkkinen perform possibly Formula One's most impressive overtaking manoeuvre ever, passing Ferrari's Michael Schumacher with Ricardo Zonta and his BAR Honda right in between them. It's round 15 and we're back in Italy for the 2002 Italian Grand Prix. Enthusiasm and passion for Ferrari is taken to new extremes at this race every year, and this season is no exception. A sea of red wherever you look, and the prancing horse is emblazoned on thousands of flags, caps and t-shirts. This crowd doesn't care who's on the front row of the grid as long as it's a Ferrari. Just like Hockenheim, Monza is a real power circuit, and it's usually the teams with the best power plants who fight for pole position. We're here at the world-famous Indianapolis Motor Speedway, home of the US Grand Prix for the last 3 years. Hello and thanks for joining us. Now in its third year, the US Grand Prix continues to draw possibly the biggest crowd of all the races, and the enthusiasm and atmosphere is hard to resist. Using parts of the infamous oval, the circuit impresses with a unique mix of a tight and twisty infield section, married with the power-hungry straight along the pit lane. It's also as close to a home Grand Prix for Williams BMW's Juan Pablo Montoya as it gets, having raced in the US for 2 years previous to his arrival in Formula One last year.
For North Americans, Indianapolis is the home of motorsport. Formula One has been coming here since 2000, and the US Grand Prix has produced some great races. The race lasts for 73 laps, a single lap covering 2.55 miles or 4.02 kilometres. Juan Pablo Montoya produced a lap record on his first visit in 2001. The track itself offers an interesting mix of a very slow and twisty infield section and the ultra-fast bank turn into the long pit straight.
Welcome to the land of the rising sun and home of the Japanese Grand Prix, the final and 17th round of the 2002 FIA Formula One World Championship. The season finale plays an important role for many participants of the Formula One world. It's Japanese tyre manufacturer Bridgestone's home Grand Prix, as well as that of Honda, who supply engines to both Jordan and BAR, and of course the new team this year, Toyota. And for the first time since 1998, a Japanese driver lines up on the grid. Takuma Sato has joined Jordan Honda for his first season of Formula One after dominating the British Formula 3 Championship last year, winning all but one round on his way to the title. I'm sure he'll be very keen to make a good impression on the fans, as much as the other participants of this year's race.
Just like Spa, Suzuka is a real driver's circuit, and as such it's no surprise that it's a firm favourite with virtually everyone on the grid here today. The Japanese Grand Prix lasts for 53 laps, and a single lap covers 3.644 miles or 5.864 kilometres. The lap record is held by Ralf Schumacher. Setting up the car for this race is far from easy, and the drivers and their engineers will have to work closely together to find a good compromise between downforce and mechanical grip. A medium downforce is likely to be adapted by most of the teams in order to find a good balance. A car which changes direction well will be fast.